Hi, my name's Bernadette and I'm one of the directors for the UK Alliance of Wedding Planners, and I've also been a wedding planner since 2002. What I wanted to chat to you today is about marketing. What quite often happens is when you're launching a business, so whether you are a wedding planner, a photographer, cake maker, quite often when you start your business, you're spending lots of time on your marketing, you're really networking, you're doing all your social media, and then it all pays off and it's brilliant and you start getting all of those bookings in. But then invariably what happens is you then stop doing all your marketing because you're spending all your time on working on your clients' weddings. Subsequently, what then happens is your business takes a dip. Because you've taken your eye off the ball and you're not doing your marketing, as soon as you've finished organising your clients' weddings, for this year, you'll then find that you don't have much for the following year. So then you're like a little hamster on the wheel, and really quickly you start doing all your marketing again. So you then benefit the following year. And so it goes, repeat and repeat. So what you need to ensure is that you're always doing some marketing. I know that in the summer period in particular, that can be really difficult. But if you're smart, there are some real simple little tips that you can do just to ensure that the marketing is ticking along, even when you're busy working on your clients' weddings. So what I thought we'd do today is we can just go through some real quick and easy tips that you can do that are going to be really easy for you to implement in your business. And it doesn't matter whether you are a wedding planner, photographer, videographer, cake maker, stationer. A lot of what we're talking about are going to be easy tips that you can implement in your business. What I'd also love to hear from you in the comments is any kind of marketing tips that work well for you. I'd love to hear about how you survive the busy wedding period, what you do to ensure that you're continuing your marketing. So step one, what I'd really suggest you do is take a critical eye on your website. Try and set aside some time once a month where you pop onto your website, have a little look at the pages. Do the words resonate with you still? Are they still attracting your ideal client? Look at your stats. What pages are working? What aren't? What referrals are working? This will help you when you're deciding who to continue advertising with, for example, or whether to continue memberships with organisations. So just take a little bit of time. It only needs to be about an hour a month just to look at your website. So that is step one for you. Okay, the next thing that I want you to do, which you can sort of do alongside your website, is to review your prices. Are you finding that you're getting too many inquiries perhaps? Do you find that you're really harassed and you feel that all you're doing is working, but you're not really seeing the return in your profitability? Now, we are going to talk about profitability in another video, but this is something that you can just review yourself. Look at what your competitors are charging, work out your profitability on a real sort of like basic level. Do you feel comfortable with what you're charging, or do you feel that perhaps you're undercharging and that's why you have so many bookings and that you are struggling to find time just for you? So, number two is your pricing. Okay, the next thing that you're going to do is your blog. What blog, I hear you say? If you don't have a blog, it's really important that you have a blog. I can't stress that enough. It really helps with your SEO and it will really help drive traffic to your website. Always make sure that your blog is linked to your website. Don't have it separate. One of my top tips that I would have for this is always think about what people are typing when they go onto Google. Generally speaking, the first thing they're typing a question. So what question could you have on your blog? What question can you answer? And then write it. Do you know what? It doesn't have to be perfect. I think sometimes in this world, as we're trying to do the perfect blog post with the perfect images, just getting it done is better than not being perfect. So write something, get it on your blog, and then you're going to be promoting it across social media, which we'll talk about in a second. Then you also need to think about for your blog things like real weddings. If you don't have your real weddings on there, put them on there. Showcase your work. So if you're a stationer, show the new suite that you've just designed. If you're a cake designer and you've designed an amazing cake for a client that's all bespoke, pop that on there. Talk about the different flavours of cakes that you've got. If you're a videographer, show a highlight film from a recent wedding. So just try to use your blog as much as you can. Ideally, you want to be posting at least once a week. I know it's hard. I know that, for myself, I don't always manage that. But try if you can. So have a little look at your blog. Think about what articles you can write that's going to connect with your clients. Also, don't forget, pictures are really important. It's really important that you are titling your pictures and giving them a description. This will help them be found on Google, but don't fill the whole blog post with pictures. And that's another mistake that people make. You need words as well. It's the words that are going to get captured by the search engines. So you need both. You need really good descriptive words that sell your business and what you're doing. And then you need really strong images to go alongside it. Okay, so that is blog posts. Hope you can read my writing, everybody. Okay, which brings me on to testimonials. As you start to get all of your clients in, you will get some lovely thank you notes. I'm finding that people are changing now, so quite often it's text messages, it's WhatsApp images, it's emails, as well as obviously the thank you cards. And it could be all too easy. You're really busy and you just sort of, put them to one side and think, I'll come back to that. But I'm a big believer in, with all the PR and marketing that you're doing, is that you really try to recycle everything. So for example, that testimonial would be great on a tweet. It would be great on Facebook. Maybe you can have that alongside the stationery that they had, or picture from the wedding, or picture of the cake, or, something visual to go alongside the testimonial. It, of course, can go on your blog post. It can go on Instagram. So there are lots of ways that you can use that one piece of testimonial. So it's really important that even if they haven't sent anything to you, contact them. Drop them an email when they get back from honeymoon. Hope you had a really wonderful honeymoon. Really enjoyed working with you. Just want to check that you're happy with what I've done. So prompt them. Don't just sit there and think, why have they not sent me anything? Be proactive. So, for testimonials, but don't just use them once. Make sure that you are using them in as many ways as you possibly can. It's going to make your life easier if you can do that as well. So with everything that you do, it's really important that you are recycling your content. And going back to the blog post, actually, as an example, if you write one blog post, from that one blog post, you can do 2 to 3 Facebook posts. You can have an image and you can have just a paragraph from that blog post. And instantly you've got 3 Facebook posts. You could decide to have between 3 and 5 images on Instagram that again is relating to that blog post. And again, you're using some of the same descriptive text, whatever that blog post has been about. So whether it's a real wedding or whether it's answering a question. You can put them in some tweets. You can put them on Google+. You could even maybe record a video. So try to recycle it as much as you can. And that's going to really help you with social media, because sometimes you get into a position where you think, I don't know what to put today. What am I going to put on Instagram? What should I write about? And this helps you. And if you do that and if you schedule it in advance, you've saved yourself so much time. So recycle and get as much from one blog post as you possibly can. And it doesn't all have to be used at the same time. So it might be that you write one blog post, you do a couple of Facebook posts relating to it that week, but you can maybe do Instagram a few weeks later. Your tweets can be scheduled for months later. So it doesn't all have to be at the same time. So spread it out. Which brings me to wedding tips. and really easy to implement, particularly if you use something like Hootsuite, a system where you can schedule everything. Come up with some tips. So some of those tips you're going to find from your blog posts. Some of them will just be tips that roll off the tongue, and just schedule them on Twitter. And again, you can schedule them for the next the next few months. I mean, you've got obviously things like hashtag Wedding Wednesday that you can use as well. So just tips that are relating to you and the business and your clients. So put some wedding tips out. Even if you're then really busy in the wedding season, you're not going on Twitter, or perhaps you're only spending a few moments on Twitter, at least you've got content going out. And that's what it comes down to. You want to make sure that your marketing is consistent, that you're constantly putting content out. So we're just going to do wedding tips. I haven't put recycle down here, but that kind of all flows with everything else that I've spoken about there. And the other thing that I want you to think about is what hashtags really resonate with you and with your clients. So with those hashtags, you're going to be using them on Twitter, and you're also going to be using them on Instagram. And as we know, particularly on Instagram, so many people will just do a search under a relevant hashtag. So what hashtags are relevant for your business? Yes, of course, you can do hashtag wedding tips, but do you specialize in a particular area? Hashtag wedding budgets, hashtag wedding 2017, 2018. So what hashtags really reflect you as a business and will attract the type of clients that you really want to connect with? And that's really easy to do. Think of those hashtags, pop it on a Word document, and then you've got them ready to use whenever you're posting something on social media. Okay, the other thing that you might want to consider is guest writing. So you're not going to want to be doing this in peak wedding season, but this is really easy for you to be doing, at the beginning and the end of the year. So who can you guest write for? You can contact other suppliers in the wedding industry that you have connected with that summer. Do any of them need any tips on their blog? Perhaps in exchange they can write something on yours. Contact some of the wedding blogs that are out there. You may find that the larger blogs aren't looking for content, but certainly there are hundreds of blogs out there, and I'm sure there's going to be somebody that is desperate for articles. This will benefit you both. It benefits the person you are writing for because, hey, they get some content, and it benefits you with your SEO because you're then going to get traffic driven to your website as well. So who can you write for? Do a little research. Who connects with your brand? And that's really important. You want to make sure that you're writing on somebody's website and blog that is relevant to what you're doing. You don't want to be writing on someone's website that is a completely different to the style of weddings that you work on. So have a little think. Who can you guest write for? The other thing that you might want to consider is styled shoots. There are some amazingly creative people in this industry. So why not collaborate? Work together. What theme, what design do you really want to come up with? Is there a venue that you're desperate to style that you think is going to look amazing as a styled shoot? This benefits you all. It benefits the wedding planner because she gets to work with these suppliers, and it benefits each supplier. They get to collaborate and really get creative. They're not playing it safe. They're really thinking outside the box. So put some of your time aside, again, either the beginning or the end of the year when you've got a quieter period. Put that time aside and collaborate with some people that you really respect, that you really want to connect with, that attract the same type of clients that you attract. Don't forget that you want to ensure that you're working with people that are also active on social media. You want to be promoting each other. Ideally, you want this shoot to then be featured either in a magazine or a blog. But the most important thing is that you're getting connections, that you've got some amazing creative images that you can then use on your blog and on your social media and in your portfolio. It's a win-win. Yes, it's going to take some of your time. It might cost you some money, depending which category you're in. So, for example, a florist. But it's really going to benefit you. Far better to do that than to spend some money advertising on something that's only going to benefit you the once. So, styled shoots. The other thing that you might want to consider is, I call it random acts of kindness. So what I mean by that is really ensuring that your clients are enjoying this process of working with you. So what can you do to let them know that they're loved? You can send them little gifts, maybe on Valentine's, maybe at Easter, at Christmas, or maybe just because. If you're out and about and you see a picture that really reminds you of your clients, and perhaps it's a design or flowers or a cake or, you know, whatever it may be, snap a picture and WhatsApp it to them and say, hey, I was thinking of you, I saw this. This really builds the trust, this builds the momentum, and it ensures that you're keeping that real loving relationship. So I'm not saying that you have to be spending hundreds of pounds on sending all of these gifts out. It could just be a little note that you're sending to them. But random acts of kindness, showing your love, I think is a really good marketing tool that you can do. But also it's another way for you to really connect with your clients. Don't forget, include any hashtags that you want them to use and your social media tags as well. And finally, you might want to consider joining a membership organisation. Here at the UKAWP, we continually market our members for them. So we promote them on Instagram and on Facebook. We do posts on them on our blog. So this ensures, even when they're busy, that we're really working hard to promote them for them. We have a hashtag that we recommend all of our members use, which is hashtag UKAWP. When they use that hashtag, that's a really quick way for us to find out when they've used it. So we go on, I look at who's used it, I comment on those posts, I like those posts, I'll share them if appropriate. It's a quick and easy way for me to ensure that I'm connecting with my members and that I know they've used that hashtag, therefore I'm going to ensure that I'm promoting them back. I hope those tips have really helped, and as I mentioned at the start of the video, I'd love to know what works well for you. So number 10 is, I'm just going to put down the UKAWP, but there are other membership organisations out there, so have a little look in your area, your country, your sector. What is going to work well for you? Okay, really lovely speaking with you. Take care. Bye now.